we need to talk about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one who never knows best. And in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, obviously, right? But more specifically, I want to talk to you guys about the community, or I guess maybe lack thereof, because I don't know about you guys. And I'm fortunate enough to have not been on the receiving end of much of it myself, but I've just been seeing like a lot of like toxicity, elitism, and just like a lot of hate, directed at people who are like trying to post tech and stuff to Twitter, or people who are, content creators who are uploading videos to YouTube. So again, I want to stress that I'm very fortunate. The content I've uploaded for the most part so far has been perceived pretty well. I've gotten a lot of great comments from a lot of you guys who've been watching my videos and telling me how much you found it helpful, or you found this entertaining, and everything's been pretty smooth. Other people haven't been so lucky. I actually made a tweet speaking on this because I've been seeing so much of it that it kind of started to bother me. And so the tweet went something like this, where I said, I've been seeing a lot of elitism and hate towards Sparking Zero players and content creators on YouTube and Twitter from the sweats that never stopped playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Pretty weird behavior. If you guys know so much and are so good at the game, you should capitalize on that and make some content. And I followed it up by saying, this game is a goldmine for content, and 99% of people playing were not still playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3 last month. What's obvious and common knowledge to you probably isn't to most players. You can do really well on YouTube by teaching people how to play this game right now. And so that sums up the gist of what I want to talk about, but we're going to get into some examples and some more thoughts and opinions and feelings I have on like what I've been seeing and showing you guys what I've been seeing. But yeah, so that's pretty much the basis of this video. I've been seeing a lot of hate. There will be people who post something, they figure something out, and then you have like a bunch of people like, oh bro, we already knew. So like, oh bro, this ain't new, or like, you know what I'm saying? And it goes beyond that, where it's getting like kind of aggressive and animalistic at times. And I've been seeing people like tearing each other down for not being as good at the game as they are, or as smart as them. It's one thing when it's like a little joke, little hee hee ha ha, or like, he thinks this is new, whatever. But it's I feel like it's getting beyond that, and it's just getting to a point where I just feel like it's overly toxic. And it's funny because I keep seeing those types of comments or remarks, whether it's in the YouTube comments, the Twitch chat, or on Twitter, people saying like, man, like so many people are bad at this game, or like everybody be talking about stuff like it's new information, this is all common knowledge, or like y'all clearly didn't play the game, and blah, 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 blah. And to that, I would say, okay, if so many of you out there feel that way, you feel like there's a lot of common knowledge, everything like that, but you're seeing these YouTubers or these people on Twitter get all these retweets, all these likes, all these views, all these comments for posting it and talking about it. At what point do you go, maybe, just maybe this actually isn't common knowledge. Maybe more people don't know about this than I originally thought. Maybe some people weren't keeping up with Tenkaichi 3, or didn't play it at a super high level, or weren't recently playing the game and aren't familiar with some of these strategies, some of these techniques. And beyond that, clearly there's a market for this. There's an audience for it. People are building live their streams off this, their YouTube channels off this. I personally have multiple videos right now with over 100,000 views, which is pretty abnormal for me and really great. I'm seeing a lot of success with the game, as are dozens, if not hundreds of other content creators. People are getting like way more viewership than normal because the game's very exciting, it's new, and it's popular. And right now is the time to strike while the iron is hot. So if you feel like you're somebody who's really skilled or knowledgeable in the game, you should be sharing that with people. Now, of course, there are some people out there who just want to gatekeep and beat up on scrubs, or other people who just know less, whatever. But if you're not one of those people, why not try to get you a slice of the pie? Because that's how I see it. And I'm someone that's doing my best to not only learn and improve the game and have fun, but also help others learn and improve along the way. When I learn something, I pass it on to you guys. And so I do have some more like informational, like guide style kind of videos coming soon, but I'm just trying to take my time with them and not like rush it, because I'm trying to also improve and make sure that I understand things before I speak on it. Because I've seen a lot of people speaking on things they don't understand, and maybe enough time will pass and eventually that will have been the case with me as something changes or isn't what we initially thought. But I digress. That's another story. It's another topic. I want to get into a tweet that I saw that ended up spawning a lot of stuff like this. And then we'll also talk about a YouTube video that I watched and the comment section on that YouTube video. So here we have a tweet from Twitter user Shiryu. I'm going to assume is how you pronounce her name. And it says, we can dodge unblockable supers consistently. If someone is doing a super in front of you, with some characters like Zbr in this clip, we have to find others. If you press guard in the middle of the animation, you will dodge it every time. This is game changing. Now, first and foremost, if you guys didn't already know, you can dodge almost anything in this game with R1 or your block button with vanish, right? Most of you should by now should be familiar with the vanish or Z-vanish mechanic. You can use it to dodge attacks. You can use it to dodge supers. You can use it to dodge a lot of things. So when I originally read this tweet, I thought that this was a player who didn't realize that you could vanish supers and had just discovered that and was excited about it and wanted to share it with people. That being said, as somebody who already knew that information, I didn't feel the need to reply to it, to comment on it, to quote tweet it and be like, this isn't new information, little bro. We already knew this. Now, I'm not saying that's not maybe something I haven't done in the past. I can't say for sure whether or not I have, but I'd like to think I'm growing and maturing as a person. But I've seen a ton of people exhibiting that type of behavior. Now, what I will say is that it seems that this player didn't mean that you could just vanish supers, but was actually saying something that was news to me, and that you can hold the button. Now, they don't go into detail about it, like in these replies or anything like that, but it looks like, you know, he replied here and said that you have to hold it without really elaborating too much. But I was personally under the impression that you had to dodge it by timing it properly with a tap, the same way that you do like when you get into those vanish wars in the game. If you tap the button at the right time, you'll dodge supers. I have dodged plenty of supers so far in this game, and it was always by tapping it because I thought it was a timing thing. Now, what this tweet is really saying is that at a certain point in the cinematic, if you just hold the button, you'll dodge it automatically. Still something that I have to test and learn and figure out, but I did try it a few times randomly when I was playing some games last night on my stream, and it turns out that that does actually work. Now, I haven't, again, fully figured out the explanation of it, or like what the, I guess it is still a timing in a sense, but like when in the cinematic you do, but I just was trying it randomly when like supers were getting thrown out, and I would hold the button, and sometimes I was dodging them. So it does work. Is it consistent? I don't know for sure. He says it's consistent. I have no choice but to take his word for it because I haven't labbed it myself yet. But that being said, that was new information to me. That was something I didn't know. And I have over, like, I'm streaming right now as I'm recording this video, and we were having a conversation. I was like, you know what, I'm going to bring this up. But I'm streaming right now, and I have over 100 hours in this game so far, right? And I have hundreds and hundreds of matches played. This was new information to me. Was it common knowledge to you? Because it wasn't to me. And if you go to the replies of this tweet, you'll see some people saying things like, this has been around since Tenkaichi 3, skull emoji. You can even do it when they send you flying. And then like the more you scroll, you just find more people kind of being jerks and just being like, you can tell some of you are just getting into the Tenkaichi series. This should have been known. Go figure. A game that sold 3 million copies in the first day and is a sequel to a game that released in 2007, 17 years ago, has new players who never played. Half the people playing this game probably weren't even alive when Tenkaichi 3 came out. Dragon Ball is so big, I'm sure there's a lot of kids and teenagers and, you know, older people as well. And by older, I just mean like adults, like people in their 20s, 30s, but 40s, 50s, who knows, right? Dragon Ball is loved by people of all ages. But yeah, not everybody and their mama remembers stuff from 17 years ago. And not everybody and their mama was still playing Tenkaichi 3 or modded Tenkaichi 4, whatever, a few weeks ago. You know what I mean? By the way, Tenkaichi 3 sold like 1.2 million copies, okay, back in the day, in 2007. Sparking Zero sold 3 million copies in its first 24 hours of release. So there are literally millions of people who have never played a Tenkaichi game who are playing Sparking Zero. Or at the very least didn't play Tenkaichi 3. And that was just the first 24 hours. So imagine how many more sales it has had since then, since the game has been out, and it's probably going to continue to go up. So again, what may be common to you because you played the game back in the day or even just played it recently, it's probably not common knowledge to most people who are actually playing the game. There's going to be way more people playing Sparking Zero than ever actually played Tenkaichi, which is a beautiful thing. And it's something that should be celebrated and paraded and that we should be very excited and happy about. But instead, I just keep seeing people like making fun of others for having not played the game and not being familiar or like having forgotten stuff. Honestly, it's just been a lot of like supreme loser activity. And that's really all there is to it. Just a lot of fucking losers. But anyway, always been the case since Budokai and Tenkaichi and Raging Blast. I'm really wondering if you guys played the Budokai Tenkaichi saga or you just suck at the game. The last Budokai Tenkaichi game was 17 years ago. Okay, this guy's actually, yeah, well, duh, of course, there are literally a whole different generation of humans. Like literally 17 years. There are people who are about to be legal adults that weren't alive when Tenkaichi 3 came out. And it's not like it's a classic online game that's still getting played to this day. I mean, yes, in very niche circles and areas, yeah, there's people who play Tenkaichi 3. Obviously, some of y'all are clearly out there and saying stuff like this. But it's not like a game that you can, you pop your disc into a PS2 and you can go jump online and play Tenkaichi 3. You know what I mean? So as you guys know, I have a homie by the name of Afro Senju who wasn't aware of this as well. And he quoted and said, new tech. Because again, might have been common knowledge to some of you, but maybe the common knowledge isn't as common as you think. And then you see we have another homie named Tech who replies, the speed at which people couldn't wait to get toxic or lead us under this tweet should be studied, because he got a lot of replies from people who were saying, like, look at this. No way y'all calling this Tech. This is just a high transmission dodge. I'm starting to think Afro lied about playing older games because ain't no way. I trust and believe, bro. Bro, hold on. Matter of fact, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. You see this? Y'all see this right here? I've been out here, bro, since day one, and this is just the Budokai games. I got games even older, because we can take it all the way back. If I go to this shelf over here, you know what I mean? Like we been outside, bro. Okay, I've been playing since Budokai 1. Still have all these games to this day. I have put hundreds, if not thousands, of hours into each one of these games, let alone any of them individually. Budokai 3 probably has the most. I wouldn't be surprised if I have 5,000 plus hours in this game. Okay. As a kid, these were damn near the only games I played for years at one point. There's a lot of stuff that was in these games that I never knew about as a kid. And I can only assume, ignore that. I can only assume the same is the case for a lot of other people. God forbid people don't remember Tech from a game that's 17 years old. It's not like this is Super Smash Bros. Melee, where it has a pretty large competitive scene that is still going on to this day. If you see some information that you already know, then why is it such a big deal? Like, if you already knew it, then it's not for you. There's a lot of people who didn't know. And truth be told, I don't think most of this stuff is obvious. And stuff like this, the game doesn't teach you that you can do that with unblockable supers. Like, I've done the tutorial. The game doesn't tell you that that's possible. Now, that being said, you should do this tutorial. It will teach you to some extent about how the game works. And another thing about the tutorial is that it teaches you a lot of mechanics, but it doesn't teach you how to apply those a lot of the time or explain exactly how they work. The game teaches you how to vanish, and it'll show you some situations where you can do it. The game doesn't say, hey, if an opponent has an unblockable super, you can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially holding the button part, I didn't know you could do that. Another example off the top of my head, right? When you learn how to Zbr Dash, which is the super Dragon Rush or Dragon, you know, the super dash that you do, right? Where you zoom and then you flip around and go behind your opponent. The game tells you on standard controls to hit R2X and then hit R2X again. But in reality, you can just hold R2 and double tap X. The game doesn't tell you that. And it's just little stuff like that. And there's some things, I have my own video coming out soon that's probably going to talk about some of the things where it's like the game teaches you this mechanic, but not necessarily how to apply it. And there's an application that would help out a lot of people, because for some people instinctually you go, oh, I could use this for that. But some people don't think about it. Bro, you know how many people don't realize how useful sidestepping is in this game? I talked about in my top 10 beginner tips video, use sidesteps. There are people who still don't know how to beat Zbr Dash. And there's multiple ways. You can sidestep it, you can drift to the side and then hit him with a punch. You can, if you time it well enough, you can do key blasts and stuff. There's a lot of options there. You can super counter, which we're going to talk about super counter one of these days. Not today, but one of these days. But not everybody immediately figures out how to apply certain things. And instead of dunking on people, these types of people could be making content or their own clips or streams or videos teaching people, because that type of stuff is doing really well right now. But instead, social media has this obsession with just constantly like trying to low bro people. Clown on everybody, dunk on them, talk shit, get their jokes off. Like, I get it. Like, at times, like we all have moments like that, I guess. Maybe not all of us, but a lot of us have moments like that. It's like, I'm gonna get this joke off real quick, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But I just feel like I've seen so much of it with this game. We're gonna take a look at another example. And like, so here we have this video from the homie Inzem, okay? You guys may or may not know him from Dragon Ball FighterZ. I would say he's currently the best Dragon Ball FighterZ player in the world. He's qualified for the World Tour. May or may not be showing up. That's another story entirely. But he put out this video earlier today that is called "This New Combo Tech Changes Everything in Sparking Zero," and it's a guide video that shows you, applications of a tech that he learned from Vox, which is Vox Liza. He's a really good Sparking Zero player, anime game player that has been, teaching me some stuff as well, and is how I've improved at the game a little bit. Basically showing like this tech of like getting behind your opponent and how you can extend combos using the Zbr Dash, and I'm sure he'll demonstrate it here in a moment. Yeah, there you go. You can dash back around your opponent and continue to get behind them and extend your combos. And this is tech that I knew about, but I haven't like been able to implement yet because I'm just not good enough. But also I was going to include, like I said, in one of my upcoming videos, I have some techniques that either the game doesn't teach you at all, or how to apply certain mechanics that the game shows you, but you may or may not have thought about using it in that way. Regardless, I thought this was a really well-made video with a great title, great thumbnail, and as you can see, it's performing very well. 32,000 views right now in 10 hours. And again, like shout out to the homie Inzem. Link to his channel will be in the description down below. Link to his Twitch, all that stuff. But like, this is out of nothing but respect for Inzem. So I just want you to see 8,000 subscribers, almost 9. You know, Inzem's not like a super big creator. That video is doing really well. You know why? Because as I said, right now Sparking Zero is a gold mine. Clearly there's a market for this type of content. People are looking for this type of stuff. There's a reason why this is his most popular video right now. Well, he's got 35. Okay, I see you, dog. I see you. But yeah, there's a reason why this video's popping off for him right now. People are looking for this type of stuff, which is ironic then when you come to the comment section and you scroll down, and I'm seeing the top comment on his video is why everyone uses the same tactic in their thumbnails for Sparking Zero. Oh, this changes everything. And then some of those vids is comment on already. Kind of cringe, not gonna lie. Which, by the way, I feel like the niggas who be calling shit cringe be the cringiest niggas on the fucking internet. It's a word that I've avoided using for like the last 10 years because I feel like every time somebody uses it, they're actually the one that like kind of makes me wince because I already know you're a fucking loser. Regardless, it's like, are we serious? This isn't common knowledge. I'm willing to bet most of you watching this video right now did not know that you could Zbr Dash after a knockback to extend your combo and get behind your opponent. You know how I know you niggas don't know this? I have over 100 hours in this game. Like 500 plus matches in this game already. Not one player I have fought has done that. Unless the one Z-Ring player that I fought before did it and I forgot. He may have slipped that in there at some point, but I don't even think he did. Shout out to Edit. I have not run into anybody online doing that. You know why? Because it's not common knowledge. The tutorial does not teach you that you can use that to extend your combos that way. And you know what I'm saying? And also the game doesn't emphasize to you the importance of getting behind your opponent and why you want to do that. And even if it is in the tutorial, most niggas aren't doing the tutorial, which is why one of my tips in my top 10 tips video was to do the tutorial. You know how many people skip over it? Bro, you know how many people thought when you start up the game and you do that fight between Goku and Vegeta that was a tutorial? Because understandably so, it is teaching a little bit about the game. Oh, okay, that's it, boom, done. And there's a training mode. You know how you get to the tutorial? You have to go to battle, go to super training, and then go to battle training. It's not that it's super far out of the way, but I just don't think the common player, the average player goes, oh yeah, let me go into training mode and figure, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of niggas ain't taking it that step. A lot of people are also terrified of training mode. That's another thing entirely. But then, like, if you scroll back and look at these replies, you have some people who are like on Inzem's side and kind of defending him. Like, it's called marketing. I'm sick of these half-ass YouTubers. Like, whatever. Sorry, I thought I turned my alerts off, but thank you, Double Gaming, for the 100 bits. I'll get back to that in just a moment. This is garbage tier content. You're correct. This shit is corny. And again, you have some outliers here, like I didn't know. You know, some people, he's agreeing with him. You have this reply from Inzem that says, I looked through a lot of combo related videos and I didn't find this tech. I don't think it's common knowledge. To which I agree. I've also sifted through several combo videos. Most people don't understand how combos work in this game because the majority of combo videos you watch, people are doing fake combos. This Sparking Zero is a game that's not very heavily combo focused. It doesn't want you doing combos, which might sound nonsensical to you if you don't have a certain level of understanding of the game and how the defensive mechanics in this game work, because you can get out of combos very easily 99.99% of the time. And the best way to get any combo that's somewhat real is to get behind your opponent, which is why something like this is so important. Because of the existence of Z counter, super counter, revenge counter, sidesteps, all this other stuff, and even just blocking, a lot of stuff doesn't true string in this game. There are gaps where you can use these mechanics. And if you scrub through a bunch of videos on YouTube, like I have, most people are not talking about it. And there are some channels out there. There are some channels out there that are discussing some of this tech, but most of them aren't. And not just this specifically, but just in general, like the actual like good stuff. So cringe, one YouTuber started doing it, now they all do. It's an instant unsub for me. You don't have the motion to be doing clickbait, so just be normal. Like, who are you? At least Inzem got 9,000 subscribers. How many you got, little bro? Like, you know what I mean? It's like where do people get off? Inzem's is the first video I've seen of Sparking Zero covering it. You're doing well, man. Don't worry. And that's my point. It's new to somebody. Seriously, new tech discovered and it's in the fucking tutorial. If it's in this tutorial, why I'm 500-600 games into this game and no, I've been hit by it maybe once ever, if at all. Unfortunately, gang, a lot of us really did play a lot of Budokai Tenkaichi 1 through 3, so it really is common knowledge. No, the fuck, it's not. If all this stuff that niggas keep saying is common knowledge, it's so fucking common, why ain't you niggas doing it? Why is nobody doing it? Why is no one talking about it? And the niggas who do talk about it, they get views. You know why? Because it wasn't fucking common knowledge. I'm very fortunate that my comment section hasn't looked like this. The stuff that I've talked about and the guides that I've made have been people thanking me, which just goes to show that there's a lot of people who need help with the basics or the slightly more advanced stuff. This isn't something that I would consider basic or fundamental, I would consider this a step above that. It's somewhat like intermediate, advanced, somewhere in that realm, right? The stuff that I've put up so far in terms of teaching people how to play the game is pretty surface level and shallow and basic. And we're working our way up to more difficult, more advanced stuff as I learned it myself. That beginner tips video has almost 200,000 views right now, which is a lot for me, or for anyone for that matter, right? Full of comments of people talking about how much this helped them. They're thanking me for it, and I'm so grateful and appreciative for that. And I'm very glad to hear that it helped out so many people. And it inspires me and motivates me to put out more content like that. Even when it comes to the Clash mini games. For some people, you might think, oh, this is self-explanatory. But the tutorial doesn't actually tell you how those mechanics work. It just shows it to you. When you do the tutorial and you do those Clash mechanics, it doesn't explain how you win the mini game. It just throws it on screen and expects you to figure it out. And some of us have. Some of us haven't. A lot of people haven't, which is why that video is also doing okay. Now, it ain't 200,000 views, but people are still learning from that video, and that's what's important. My brother in Christ, it's not just combo vids, duh, use your brain. Most of these dudes will be trash and forgotten. Every new game, like, it's just... If it's not new information to you, I don't understand why you have to be such an asshole about it. And honestly, I don't even consider this clickbait. This is just the truth. Most people out there, myself included at times, when I just get on autopilot and I'm not focusing on what I'm doing, are just mashing square, just doing rush chains, automatic vanish combos. This is very helpful, very useful information to what I would call and consider the vast majority of players. The amount of people who do know compared to those who don't know is very skewed. Up here are the people who don't know. This is the amount of people who do know. Now, one could argue that some of these views, right, are from people who thought they were going to learn something new and didn't. Myself included. Did I learn something new from Inzem's video explaining this mechanic? No, but I still thought it was a really good, well-made video. You see, I hit it with a like. Wait, what? I've been subbed to Inzem for, no, that's so cap. Wait, what? I must have accidentally hit the button, regardless. I thought it was a really well-made video, and I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it already. I just feel like the elitism and the toxicity around Sparking Zero right now is like kind of out of control, because it just feels like every time somebody makes a post about something like this, like I'm seeing a lot of this outside of my own content, which again, I'm very grateful for, but it's still kind of annoying to see other people going through it. I feel like the thing I've seen the most in regards to comments about Sparking Zero is how hard the game is and how much people are struggling. So clearly most people don't really know what they're doing and are looking for help. So videos like this are helpful. And instead of like trying to constantly tear each other down, we should be working together to figure out like, okay, what is the best type of content to be making right now? What do people need help with? Like, how can we educate? How can we increase, the overall level of play in the game? How can we make the game better, more fun, create a better sense of community, and keep this game alive and well and popular, instead of shitting on somebody because you think you're so much smarter and better than them, or because you knew something that most other players didn't know, and then try to like act like it's something that everybody knows when clearly they didn't. The video's got 1,800 likes for a reason. Clearly a couple thousand people thought this was a good video and learned something from it. And that's just the ones who hit like, you know what I mean? Thousands more, I'm sure, who just didn't hit the button, but they enjoyed or liked the video. It just bothered me seeing it because I've just seen it a lot. I've been seeing it a lot since the game came out, but I've been seeing it a lot in particular the last few days, and I just felt the need to speak on it. It's a lot of hating going on. And it don't do nothing but tear each other down and help the game die faster. Anyway, I'm having a lot of fun with the game. I'm having a lot of fun learning, and I will personally continue to create content that is trying to help people improve as well as also entertain people, because that's what I'm passionate about doing right now, and I think it's the best thing to do right now. Also, I may or may not have a video coming up soon that's going to be more critical of Sparking Zero, talking about issues and flaws that I have with the game and how I'd like to see it improve. I just hope when I do that, niggas will be like, oh, now you being a hypocrite, you being negative, because there's a difference between being negative and being critical. And I want the best for this game, and I want the game to be alive for as long as possible and have as many people playing and enjoying for as long as possible. So when I talk about my criticisms or any issues that I have, understand that it's because I care and because I'm passionate about this, not because I want to tear the game or anybody down. Okay, that's understood. We'll get back to that in a future video. Anyway, that's why I'm going to wrap this up for the night. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all of the awesome content that I'm bringing you. With all that being said, that's pretty much all I have for today. And remember, nothing can happen until you swing the bot. Later.